So chair to take, taking roll call, chair.
Thank you, Michael.
Micah Ayu,
Here.
Jason Bradshaw,
Here.
Alan Burdick. Alan Burdick. Not present. John Chinnen,
Present.
Linda Chong,
Here.
Bart Dame. Bart Dame. Not present. Donna Domingo.
Art's
Here.
here, sorry.
Donna Domingo's here. Elton Fukumoto. Elton Fukumoto.
Here.
Lindsay Garcia. Lindsay Garcia. Not present. Mike Galoy will be absent for the rest of the meeting. Troy Hashimoto.
Here.
Troy Hashimoto is here. Paul Holcomb.
Here.
Paul Holcomb is here. Kristen Kahaloa. Kristen Kahaloa.
She's going to be on a flight and joining us a little bit later.
Okay, not present. Darius Keela. Darius Keela. Not present. Michael Kasasa. Michael Kasasa.
Here. Here.
Mike McCartney. Mike McCartney. Larry Meacham.
Here.
Larry Meacham is present. Amy Monk. Amy Monk. Amy Monk is absent. Sharon Morikawa.
Moriwaki here.
Moriwaki, sorry. Long day. Present. Thank you. Sharon Moriwaki is here. Dave Nagaji.
Here.
Dave Nagaji is here. Richard Oshiro.
Here.
Oshiro is here. Len Otoguro.
Here.
Len Otoguro is here. Renee Rabb.
Here.
Renee Rabb is here. Martha Randolph.
Martha Randolph is here.
Randolph is here. Carlos Rodriguez Santana.
Here.
Carlos Santana is here. Tony Sanchez.
Here.
Tony Sanchez is here. Sarah Simmons.
Here.
Sarah Simmons is here. Kate Stanley.
Here.
Kate Stanley is here. Greg Takayama. Greg Takayama. Greg Takayama is absent. Chris Todd.
Here.
Chris Todd is here. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada is absent. Kevin Wong.
Here.
Kevin Wong is here. Jesse Suki.
Here.
Jesse Suki is here. Danielle Bass. Danielle Bass. Danielle Bass is not here. You have 23 members present. You have quorum.
Thank you. So members, Daniel Bass is stuck in traffic, so she's working her way home. She'll take over the meeting at around 7. And I'm also like between things, but I think I can handle it until 7. But the first item we have on the agenda tonight is proposal 24. So we have that up on the screen.
Yes.
And who'd like to comment first? Or actually, is there a maker of the motion who'd like to explain it?
Sure, Chair. I'm gonna make
Who is this? I'm sorry.
Kevin Wong.
Kevin.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so this just something that I wanted to bring up for discussion. Right now, the thing that I believe is that if you're kind of the boss, you should be able to hire your personnel as you see fit. Since they report directly to the party chairperson, I think it's only fair that that person gets to pick who it is. It would be like me telling you who you had to hire as your secretary in your office. But so just for discussion, this is my proposal, and I hope you support it.
Thank you.
In the
Anyone
order-
speaking?
Chair, in the order of the hands raised, Kate Stanley's up next.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful, Michael. Go ahead, Kate.
Okay. Thank you, Jesse and Michael. As I have in the other meetings, I am going to vote no on the proposals because I believe we should take time during the next period between this convention and the next convention to thoughtfully review the entirety of the bylaws and constitution. In addition, I would like to speak particularly against this particular proposal. I served as interim chair, and I think it's important that the chair plays a big role in the selection and recommending to the SCC. But I really believe that the SCC has a responsibility to approve the hiring of the executive director. I do not think that that should be the sole decision of the party chair. I don't think that works for the party. I don't think that's good governance. And I would urge everyone to vote against this proposal.
Thank you, Kate.
Chair, we have, on the line, we have our interim party chair. He's asking for chair's prerogative to speak.
Okay, for or against?
Hi, everyone. It's Adrian here. I wanted to chime in and basically speak against this proposed amendment. Having been interim chair, I can tell you that, and previous chairs in the past can tell you that they have had no problem filling the executive director role with advice and consent of the SCC. It provides some sort of checks and balances so that the chairperson cannot unilaterally do something that's out of the norm and can violate our bylaws and our constitution, because our executive director is supposed to have knowledge over our constitution, our bylaws, as well as anything that can potentially be illegal when a chair takes action. It provides some sort of checks and balance. It also speaks to the kind of party we want to be. Do we want a party where the chairperson can have, the executive director is only loyal to the chairperson, or does the executive director have to be loyal to the party as a whole? That is the biggest concern that I have right now. I don't want our executive director to have sole loyalty to whoever becomes chair. Our executive director has to have some balance, has to understand that their duty is to the party and not any one individual. That's my 2 cents. I know I'm not on the committee, but I just feel that I need to come in and talk about why I have strong opposition, have a strong opinion about this proposed amendment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, interim chair. Your perspective is appreciated. Who's next, Michael?
Martha Randolph.
Okay,
Martha,
well, yes,
you're
I'm
up.
here.
Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, thank you that you can see me. I couldn't see me, but there you go. I'm also speaking against this. The reasons are pretty much the same as what already been spoken, but the most important thing is that the executive director position is a job that requires considerable experience, and that executive director does work for the party. They don't work for the chair. And the viewpoint that when a chair is elected chair, he's actually elected the boss of the party, or like a boss in a company, is erroneous. So I would say this is just another step in certain individuals trying to turn the chair's position into a dictatorship, and I'm strongly against it. Thank you.
Thank you. Who do we have next?
Larry Meacham.
I'd like to echo Adrian's and Martha's views about the need for checks and balances. This is not a for-profit company where the people say that that's our ideal form of management here. I disagree. We're sort of a quasi-governmental organization dealing with public policy.
Point of order, we've had 3 people speak against.
Yes, may I finish, please?
Yeah, let's finish up, Larry, and then we can have people for.
All right. And we have recent experience. There could be problems with this. The nightmare is the appoint their high school classmate or even their high school child, which would be allowed under this. And so we should definitely deep six this. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone speaking for? I see no hands raised now. Is anyone who wants to speak for? Okay. If we have 5 hands, if 5 hands go up, we'll have a roll call. If it's less than 5, then it passes. Okay, roll call, please.
Your chair. On number 24, starting with Micah Ayu. How do you vote?
Yes.
Micah Ayu votes yes. Jason Bradshaw.
No.
Jason Bradshaw votes no. Alan Burdick. Alan Burdick. Not present. John Chinnen.
No.
John Chinnen votes no. Linda Chong.
No.
Linda Chong votes no. Bart Dane.
No.
Bart Dane votes no. Donna Domingo.
No.
Donna Domingo votes no. Elton Fukumoto. Elton Fukumoto. Come back. Lindsay Garcia. Lindsay Garcia. Not present. Mike, Troy Hashimoto.
No.
Troy Hashimoto votes no. Paul Holcomb.
No.
Paul Holcomb votes no. Kristen Kahaloa. Kristen Kahaloa. Not present. Darius Keela. Darius Keela. Not present. Micah Kosasa. Micah Kosasa.
Yes.
Micah Kosasa votes yes. Mike McCartney. Mike McCartney. Not present. Larry Meacham.
No.
Larry Meacham votes no. Amy Monk. Amy Monk. Amy Monk not present. Sharon Moriwaki. See, I got it right that time.
No.
Sharon Moriwaki votes no. Dave Nagaji.
No.
Dave Nagaji votes no. Richard Oshiro.
No.
Richard Oshiro votes no. Lynn Otoguro.
No.
Lynn Otoguro votes no. Renee Rabb. Renee Rabb. Not present. Martha Randolph.
No.
Martha Randolph votes no.
No, that was Renee. Martha's now
Oh.
voting no.
Oh.
Renee voted no.
Okay, Renee votes no. Martha Randolph. is a
Martha
no.
Randolph votes no.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Carlos Santana.
No.
Carlos Santana votes no. Tony Sanchez.
No.
Tony Sanchez votes no. Sarah Simmons.
No.
Sarah Simmons votes no. Kate Stanley.
No.
Kate Stanley votes no. Greg Takayama. Greg Takayama. Not present. Chris Todd.
No.
Chris Todd votes no. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada not present. Kevin Wong.
Yes.
Kevin Wong votes yes. Chair, Vice Chair Suki. Vice Chair Suki.
No.
No. Anybody I miss? Anybody would like to change their
Yes.
vote? Elton Fukumoto, are you present?
Yes, I'm present. I'm experiencing connectivity issues. I vote yes.
Elton Fukumoto votes yes. Chair Bass. Chair Bass, not present. With 4 yeses and 20 noes, the motion fails.
Thank you, Michael. We are on to proposal 26.
Chair Suki,
Yes.
this is Lynn Otaguro. Point of order. I
Sure.
would like to ask that when people present arguments that they not impugn the integrity or views of people who they disagree with.
That's fair. Let's not make this personal. I agree.
Thank you very much.
That was a fair request, everyone. Let's not make it personal. We're trying to have good rules that support everybody. We have the proposal 26 on the screen. Everybody take a look. adding the underlined language. Is there a maker of this motion that'd like to speak to it?
Yes, sure, it's Kevin again.
Thank you, Kevin. Go ahead.
So this is, I guess I want to start by saying I have a lot of these proposals. And again, just for discussion's sake, I attempted to do what Kate is talking about and go through all of the bylaws and constitution and look at things that seemed interesting to me. But so this came up because of the time when we didn't have an executive director. And people were unable to access things. I know it's been brought up that apparently the contract we have only allows one person to have access to that. I think I have no way to verify that, but I would also just point out that we're a very small state. We have 4 counties. There are a lot of other states with upwards of 200 counties, and I find it hard to believe that one person handles the request for all of that. So I would just ask everyone to consider this as an option to allow our counties the ability to perform their duties in the absence of anyone. So yeah, I would urge you to vote yes.
Do we have anyone who wants to speak for this? I see Kate and Bart. Are either of you for this?
I'm against it.
I think Kate's against it. She
against.
shakes her head. Anybody for want to speak? Okay, I don't see any. Kate, go ahead.
I'm speaking against this. We have a policy that governs who can have access membership and what kinds of membership and requires training. I think that this matter of who has access should be re-examined by a committee that looks at our current data policy and does it that way, not this way.
Thank you, Kate. Bart? And then after Bart, Michael?
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about data. If you haven't done so, and I hadn't done so in a while, I recommend people go on the website and read our database policy. If you go to party documents, there will be a section on policies, and the database policy is one of them. I don't see what the actual problem is that's being dealt with here, apart from perhaps the temporary situation where the executive director was fired with little notice and no one else was trained to take over the functioning. Under the current policy, the county chair is able to edit and view data. She can't download it and then use it for other purposes. I agree with Kate that I think there needs to be a review of our overall data process. I think there's been very uneven access to data. So that some people, for example, have access to the list of delegates to the state convention and can lobby them or recruit them for different things, and others of us do not. I officially am supposed to have access to the entire state thing as national committee man, both the boat builder and high Dems, but I don't have access to an awful lot of information that I think is appropriate for the kind of job that I do. So I agree with Kate that we should do that. But meanwhile, let's not pass this piecemeal approach just for the counties. Thank you.
Thank you, Bart. Michael, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I've spoken, we sent a written request to our data director, as Marlo Ting, and he came back saying that that he does not support this. This goes against the DNC's work towards 0 downloads, because of the boat builder van, as it were, has a mobile device that if you want to be able to do things like door knocking, phone calling, that is what that is for. The way that van is set up, there can only be one person that does the downloads. So there's one state administrator that would have that authority to be able to download. This would be impossible to implement at this level, anyways, with the way that that is set up. And those larger states have the exact same policy in place. There is one person that has the ability to download because data is so much. We need to protect our data. It is our membership data is our most valuable asset. So at the request of the data director, he asks you not to pass this because it does not do this party any good. Mahalo.
Thank you. That was 1 for and 3 against. Is there anyone who wants to speak for? Okay, seeing none, if I see 5 hands or more, we'll go to roll call. Can I see some hands if they want to put them up? Okay, can we do roll call, Michael? Thank you.
And okay, this is proposal number 20.
6.
Oh, I already had ready. Look at that. Micah, you.
No.
No. Jason Bradshaw.
No.
Alan Burdick. Alan Burdick. Not present. John Chinnan.
No.
John Chinnan votes no. Linda Chong.
No.
Linda Chong votes no. Bart Dame.
No.
Bart Dame votes no. Donna Domingo.
No.
Donna Domingo votes no. Elton Fukumoto.
Yes.
Elton Fukumoto votes yes. Lindsay Garcia. Lindsay Garcia. Not present. Troy Hashimoto.
No.
Troy Hashimoto votes no. Paul Holcomb.
No.
Paul Holcomb votes no. Kristen Kahaloa. Kristen
Yes, no, sorry.
Kristen Kahaloa votes no. Correct? Okay. Everybody else heard no? I heard no.
Yes to no, sorry.
Thank you. That's okay. Thank you. Darius Keela. Darius Keela. Micah Kosasa.
Yes.
Micah Kosasa votes yes. Mike McCartney. Mike McCartney. Not present. Larry Meacham.
No.
Larry Meacham votes no. Amy Monk. Amy Monk. Sharon Moriwaki.
No.
Sharon Moriwaki votes no. Amy Monk is not present, for the record. Dave Nagaji.
No.
Dave Nagaji votes no. Richard Oshiro.
No.
Richard Oshiro votes no. Lynn Otoguro.
I'm going to apologize because I didn't raise my hand fast enough, but I do want to say that I'm going to vote yes for this because it shows that there is a need to look at the
We're
policy.
in the middle of a vote, ma'am. That's out of order.
Okay,
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, in the middle of voting. Sorry.
sorry.
Renee
Okay,
Rab.
yeah.
Renee Rab.
No.
Renee Rab votes no. Martha Randolph.
Martha Randolph votes no.
Martha Randolph votes no. Carlos Santana.
Nope.
Carlos Santana votes no. Tony Sanchez.
No.
Tony Sanchez votes no. Sarah Simmons.
No.
Sarah Simmons votes no. Kate Stanley.
No.
Kate Stanley votes no. Greg Takayama. Greg Takayama. Chris Todd. Chris Todd. Chris Todd
No.
votes no. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada not present. Kevin Wong.
Yes.
Kevin Wong votes yes. Chair Bass. Wait, hold on. Never mind. Forget I said that. Vice Chair Suki.
No.
Vice Chair Suki votes no. Chair Bass. Chair Bass. Not present. With 4 yeses and 21 noes, this motion fails as well.
Thank you, Michael. We're on to number 27, is that correct?
I was about to ask you. No.
Proposal 27.
Yes, sir.
Can the maker of the motion speak on the motion if
Sure, Chair.
thank you.
So this is just another thing that I saw, and $2 seems to be not a lot out of every 10. I feel like the counties do a lot of work and they should be getting a little bit more. My original proposal was $5. We voted it in the county side to say 3 instead of 5. But I'm hoping that the counties can do something with an extra $1 and do their duties better.
Thank you. Does anyone want to speak for or against the motion?
I'll
Larry,
speak for.
Go ahead, Larry.
I agree with Kevin that the counties do a lot of work. This will not break our budget, so I think it would help.
Kate Stanley has her hand raised.
Yes,
Go ahead, Kate.
I speak against this. I think you need to look at the finances across the party, the state party, and then the counties, and give some full attention to what the county should be doing to raising their own funds and what the state is doing. Fundraising is a huge challenge for the party and for the counties. I don't think that this has had enough discussion and a thorough enough review of what where we currently are.
Thank you, Kate. That was 2 for, 1 against. Anyone want to speak against or for?
I've got my hand up.
Oh, go ahead. Are you for or
Okay.
against?
I'm against this only because I've done some math. And if you give $3 out of every 10 to any given county, even if you just talk about 3 counties, that's 9 out of every $10 will go to the counties, which leaves $1 for the
No,
state
no, no.
election. So I'm
No.
confused.
That's one county. It only came from one county.
Who's speaking?
I'm sorry, that was Carlos.
Oh, Carlos. You want to go ahead, Carlos?
Just to clarify, the $10 donation comes from one person who lives in one county. So only $3 from that will come out, not different counties. And I'm in favor of this because sometimes I've had to decide, do I want to donate to the county or do I want to donate to the state? Well, now I know if I donate to the state, the county will get a little bit more than they did before. So I'm in favor. And sorry for the interruption before. I just wanted to clarify the incorrect information. Thank you.
Actually, thank you for the clarification. I didn't understand that.
Thank you. So we have 3 fors and 2 against, I think. So anyone wants to speak out against before we go to a vote?
Larry has his hand raised. Oh, wait, no,
No,
Bart, take it down.
I
Now
was
Bart has
for.
his hand raised.
Okay. Anyone again?
Bart has his hand raised.
Okay, go ahead, Bart.
Yeah, I want to agree with Kate. I appreciate the intent of this motion. I'd like to see a big picture analysis of how much money the party at all of its levels actually spends before making an assessment as to whether 30% of the dues coming in should go to the counties. It seems like they pay for certain operations, but the state also supports a broad infrastructure that also benefits the counties. And I'd need to see the big picture numbers before I could vote on this. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So that was 3 for, 3 against. Let's go to a vote.
Well,
it's pretty straightforward. Was there a comment? I'm sorry.
O'Donna had her hand raised, but she took it down. Kate has her
Okay.
hand raised.
No, no. I have my hand raised for calling for a roll call.
Okay, so right now, put your hand up if you want to go to a roll call. If I don't see 5 hands, then it passes. I see 4. I see 5. Okay, Michael, let's go to a roll call.
Okay. On proposal number 27, Micah Ayu.
Yes.
Micah Ayu votes yes. Jason Bradshaw.
No.
Jason Bradshaw votes no. Alan Burdick. Alan Burdick, not present. John Chinnen.
No.
John Chinnen votes no. Linda Chong.
Yes.
Linda Chong votes yes. Bart Dame.
No.
Bart Dame votes no. Donna Domingo.
No.
Donna Domingo votes no. Elton Fukumoto.
Yes.
Elton Fukumoto votes yes. Lindsay Garcia. Lindsay Garcia. Troy Hashimoto.
Yes.
Troy Hashimoto votes yes. Paul Holcomb.
No.
Paul Holcomb votes no. Kristen Kahaloa. Kristen Kahaloa. Darius Keela. Darius Keela. Kristen Kahaloa and Darius Keela not present. Micah Kusasa.
Yes.
Michael Kusasa votes yes. Mike McCartney. Mike McCartney. Larry Meacham.
Yes.
Larry Meacham votes yes. Amy Monk. Amy Monk. Amy Monk not present. Sharon Moriwaki.
Yes.
Sharon Moriwaki votes yes. Dave Nagaji.
Yes.
Dave Nagaji votes yes. Richard Oshiro.
Yes.
Richard Oshiro votes yes. Len Otoguro.
Yes.
Len Otoguro votes yes. Renee Rabb.
Yes.
Renee Rabb votes yes. Martha Randolph.
Yes.
Martha Randolph votes yes. Carlos Santana.
Yes.
Carlos Santana votes yes. Tony Sanchez.
No.
Tony Sanchez votes no. Sarah Simmons.
Yes.
Sarah Simmons votes yes. Kate Stanley.
No.
Kate Stanley votes no. Greg Takayama. Greg Takayama. Chris Todd.
Yes.
Chris Todd votes yes. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada. Not present. Kevin Wong.
Yes.
Kevin Wong votes yes. Jesse Suki
Abstain.
abstains. Danielle Bass. Danielle Bass, not present. With 16 yeses and 7 nos, the motion passes. Chair, may I make a statement now that it's passed?
Sure.
I hope everybody now gives for their membership membership dues, because that vote only matters if people donate. Last year we brought in less than $4 grand when it came to membership dues. So, anyways,
That's a good message. We all need to help fundraise. All right, we're on to proposal 28. Would the maker of that motion want to speak?
Yes, Chair.
Go ahead, thank you.
So this is again just one of the things that stood out as I was reading through. I believe that the counties can make the decision of where the biennial meetings are going to be held. I know there are some requirements, but as long as I believe we would still be subject to those no matter what. So if I think the county should be able to make that decision, especially when it comes to dealing with how how their counties are run.
Thank you. Does anybody want to speak for or against this motion?
Kate Stanley has her hand raised.
Yes,
Go
I
ahead,
wish to,
Kate.
I wish to speak against this. When we govern the party, we have a state party and we have county committees. The biennial elections is a state function. It has to be governed by the state bylaws and the state constitution. Biennial elections are also in every 4 years, sometimes as they were this past year, part of the party-run presidential primary. You cannot have the county dictating what the state is responsible for. The counties already participate in choosing the sites. They have a responsibility to do that. And at the biennial elections, we elect delegates to the state convention, delegates to the county convention. This is a state function. The counties participate. Vote no.
Thank you. Does somebody want to speak for or against?
This is Bart.
Go ahead, Bart.
Can I speak against? My reasoning is much like Kate's. I'd like to emphasize the point that often the conditions for holding the presidential primary are not even decided by the state. They're decided by the state in conjunction with the DNC as we submit a delegate selection plan. I really think it's a mistake to keep bouncing back and forth between different ways of doing the core business of the party, so that people who remember what happened the year before or 2 years before are confused when we switch to another way of doing things. For that reason alone, I think it's a bad idea to leave it up to the counties. But I also agree with Kate's major point is that there are some functions of the county parties where they are a division of the state party executing the state's business. And there are other things that are county specific. This is definitely part of their responsibility as a division of the state structure to conduct these meetings. And therefore, I think it's a mistaken sense of autonomy, exaggerated sense of autonomy to leave this up to the county parties to decide. Thank you.
Thank you, Bart. I think I see Larry's next.
Correct.
Yeah, I'll have to check with Bart on this, but doesn't the DNC require that the national committee member elections be held in person?
You can go ahead and answer that, Bart. You are in that position. You have knowledge.
I could if I wasn't such an uncle man. I know we have to get approval from them in any event if we vary from it. So under emergency circumstances like COVID, I think they allowed us some leeway. But in the absence of that, I think, yes, it's going to have the in-person option. We can do mail-in for presidential stuff. So I hesitate. Remove me as an expert on this question, please.
Okay, Elton's up.
Thank you, Chair. I speak in favor of this because some counties have very different requirements. So for example, Oahu County can very easily go all in person, but it's very difficult for the Big Island or Maui. On Maui, we have counties that are on different islands. And on the Big Island, they've got districts that are too large and really would find it difficult to meet in person. So for example, District 1, which is Mark Nakashima's district, is the size of Oahu. So if you require in-person meetings, somebody has to go by car 15, 20 miles. And there's another district on the Big Island that is the size of Maui. And so people would have to drive all the way to a particular spot if the requirement is in person. So I think it should be left to the counties to decide this particular issue because of their particular geographical requirements. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Elton. Kate, I see your hand went up. Did you have something factual to add, or because you spoke already?
Yes, I
Facts?
do have something
Okay.
factual. Okay. I was interim chair in 2020. Our delegate selection plan dealt with that circumstance and the DNC approved it. We had a mail-in ballot. This time, by the time we got ready, we also proposed to have a mail-in ballot, but we had not raised sufficient money. So we had to make an alternate plan and that we had to follow the DNC rules and come up with a plan that we could actually execute. That's why we ended up where we did with in-person for voting for the delegates to the state convention. So I don't think that this is a good idea at all. It's going to cause terrible coordination problems, and it'll end up in a lot of fights with the DNC, and the DNC as the governing body of the party of the United States has the power to approve or disapprove our delegate selection plan.
Thank you, Kate. I think we have the requisite against. Is anyone for? Someone for want to speak to this? Is that you, Martha? Are you for?
No, I'm sorry. I thought I'd lowered my hand. I actually had the question, if Michael is still here. I believe he did put in the materials for this year's convention. He made it quite clear that you could only vote for the delegate, the representative to the DNC, if you were there in person. So there's that. But I don't see a mention of that in this bill. The only thing I see is something about the difference between holding online meetings or in-person meetings, and that the SEC would decide it. I think if there are rules, this comes under Kate Stanley's perfect question, which is, this may be something that has to be reviewed at length at another time. I don't think we can just pass this one without some serious consequences. So with respect to the maker, I think this has to be reviewed in another situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha. Michael, I know you have some firsthand knowledge on some of this stuff. Do you have any facts to lay out for us so we can understand what this is better?
Okay, I definitely can. As somebody that has been, I was put in charge of your biennial elections in 2020 and again this past year. And what we strive for at the state level is having uniformity. So someone has the same type of experience and the same type of access if they show up in haiku or hilo. And we take everything into consideration, the geographical things. We were able to take those into consideration, especially when dealing with HD 13, which is a canoe district. But there are a lot of barriers that are put on us by the DNC that we must meet to be able to do it in a presidential year. Even if it isn't a presidential year, you still want our delegates, our members, to be able to participate at the same level everywhere they go. And by allowing this is not something we can just pass off to the counties, given the enormity of this event. It is the single largest event that this party does every 2 years. It's bigger than the state convention. It's bigger than anything else we do, because this is where we elect our grassroots leaders. And so we want to be able to make sure that everybody has the same access. And so it is a momentous task. Speaking, like I said, I've done it twice. That having uniformity, so people don't get different instructions at different locations, don't have different opportunities or missed opportunities, as it were, to participate and have their voices heard. So, as Kate said earlier, the county chairs and the county committees have representation on the SCC when they go to vote, when we go to discuss this at the SCC. And we want to be able to make sure, because we are the Democratic Party of Hawaii. And so we want to make sure all of our members are able to participate at every level. So and to answer the question about voting, yes, this year you had to be in person voting to be able to become a delegate that can vote for the DNC, to be elected as a delegate to vote on the delegates for the DNC, as well as, yeah, that for sure. But and then at state convention, you have to show up in person on Saturday from 3 to 5 to be able to vote if you were one of those delegates that turned in your pledge of support form, as well as this past Friday's deadline, or past Thursday's deadline, to be able to vote for the DNC, as well as the presidential electors. All appointed delegates that did the voter pledge form will be able to vote in the presidential electors race if they turned in that form on time.
Thank you, Michael. So I think we've heard some against, we've heard a smattering of fours, and we heard a lot of analysis. Before we go to vote, I just want to be sure that we're hearing all sides. Is there a four that we can hear from? Any other fours? I don't see any fours.
Lynn
Are you
Notoguro.
for, Lynn? Ortoguro, are you for?
Well, I'm going to speak for the idea of it, at least, because clearly, while I understand that it has been said that you try for consistency and you try to make sure that people have the same experience, but it appears that sometimes for people in different counties, they experience life differently, that they don't have the same access, that isn't the same. So, and the people closest to representing the people who may or may not have access are the county committees, are the county chairs. And so if not this proposed amendment, I would ask that earnest efforts be made to ensure that people on Big Island can vote, people on Maui can vote, and that the different experiences of the different counties are taken into consideration in terms of internet access. And because we also know that online is not a panacea, but internet access and other abilities to come to a meeting or an election be considered. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Donna, unless you're a 4. Are you 4?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Thank you. So if we had a good discussion here. If I see 5 or more hands, we'll take it to a roll call. If I see less than 5, it'll pass. Okay, I see 5, 6. Okay, go ahead, Michael. Please roll call.
Okay,
Thank you.
Sure. On proposal number 28, Mike IU.
Yes.
Mike IU votes yes. Jason Bradshaw.
No.
Jason Bradshaw votes no. Alan Burdick. Alan Burdick, not present. John Chinnon.
No.
John Chinnon votes no. Linda Chong.
No.
Linda Chong votes no. Bart Dane.
No.
Bart Dane votes no. Donna Domingo.
No.
Donna Domingo votes no. Elton Fukumoto.
Yes.
Elton Fukumoto votes yes. Lindsay Garcia. Lindsay Garcia, not present. Troy Hashimoto.
Yes.
Troy Hashimoto votes yes. Paul Holcomb.
No.
Paul Holcomb votes no. Kristen Kahaloa.
Yes.
Kahaloa votes yes. Darius Keela. Darius Keela. Micah Kosasa.
Yes.
Micah Kosasa votes yes. Mike McCartney. Mike McCartney, not present. Larry Meacham.
No.
Larry Meacham votes no. Amy Monk. Amy Monk, not present. Sharon Moriwaki.
Yes.
Sharon Moriwaki votes yes. Dave Nagaji.
No.
Dave Nagaji votes no. Richard Oshiro.
No.
Richard Oshiro votes no. Lynn Otoguro.
Yes.
Lynn Otoguro votes yes. Renee Rabb.
Yes.
Renee Rabb votes yes. Martha Randolph.
Yes.
Martha Randolph votes yes.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I was distracted. That's a no. I'm sorry, that's a no.
Martha Randolph has changed her vote to no. Carlos Santana.
No.
Carlos Santana votes no. Tony Sanchez.
No.
Tony Sanchez votes no. Sarah Simmons.
No.
Sarah Simmons votes no. Kate Stanley.
No.
Kate Stanley votes no. Greg Takayama. Greg Takayama. Chris Todd.
Yes.
Chris Todd votes yes. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada. Kevin Wong. Kevin
Yes.
Wong. Kevin Wong votes yes. Jesse Suki. Jesse
Yes.
Suki. Jesse Suki votes yes. Chair Bass. Danielle Bass, not present. With 11 yeses and 14 noes, the motion fails. Up next is 30.
Thank you, folks. We're on item 30, but before I start that, I see, does somebody need help getting on? I see the chat. I don't, you can send whoever the person is that needs a Zoom link. Is that what they need?
Yes.
You can, I think you can forward them your Zoom email if that helps. It's not a unique
No,
Zoom,
Chair,
right?
they're all linked to each other. I'll take care of it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Verdict.
He got one sent, what everybody else did.
That's what I told him, looked at 525 and he says he didn't get it.
I forwarded mine.
Yours doesn't help though.
Why not?
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Somebody should call him up and try and figure it out, but we're gonna move on to item 30.
I just resent him.
Thank you, Michael. Would the maker of the motion want to speak on the motion?
Or it's
Yes, sure. So
Go
again, this is just another thing that I saw that seemed slightly problematic. I know we're talking about what ifs here. But what would happen if the State Central Committee did not approve an appointment within 40 days is they would give themselves the power to appoint somebody. So all this amendment does is extend the 45-day period another 40 days if the only reason the vacancy is still there is because the State Central Committee has not confirmed it.
Thank you. Is there someone who wants to speak against the motion or for? I see Bart has his hand up.
Yeah, I speak in favor.
Go ahead.
Yeah, under these unique circumstances, so the SCC doesn't necessarily meet within a 45-day period. We meet quarterly for regular meetings, and sometimes we have special meetings in between then. But if the special circumstances are that there is not a meeting, or if we somehow don't get it on the agenda, that shouldn't impact, I think, the filling of the appointment. So I support this amendment from Kevin.
Thank you, Bart. Martha?
Yes, I am only against this amendment because if you read the actual article, the whole thing, you will see there's a number of different organizations that are given time to fulfill the vacancies that they experience before it gets to the state central committee. So the 45 days is given to, I guess, 5 A, B, C, D, E, and then you have the state central committee. My concern is the implication of 5F seems to put that the state central committee would somehow sabotage itself in trying to do this. And I believe at the Oahu County Convention, Michael Galoyu, either senior or junior, I don't remember which, stood up and said that in the experience of their lifetime in the Democratic Party, they had not seen that situation arise. So I am speaking against this as being not necessary. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we got 2 against and 1 for. Larry?
I'm also against. Do you want to look for someone who's for?
You round it out at 3 and then we'll see who's for.
All right. I'm just concerned that the lack of concurrence could be interpreted as even if there's no meeting. They would say there's no meeting, so there's no lack of there's no concurrence. And just the fact that we hold the meetings very seldom could be used to allow the chairperson to fill the seat.
John, are you for?
No, I just need some clarification on the language of the amendment.
Sure, go ahead.
If I'm reading this correctly, if the central committee does not fill the vacancy, it's going to devolve to the chair to personally fill the vacancy. Is that it?
Yep.
No, I don't think
The
so.
maker of the motion want to speak to that?
Yeah, so if the way that this works is it is already a party chairperson appointment that has to be confirmed by the state central committee. This is only applicable when the chair has tried to make an appointment and that is not confirmed. I guess, and then to kind of add on to this, I know what you guys said before about the full process of filling these out before it gets to this point. And I agree that that should be the normal case. My only concern is that this is something that would take the state central committee's inaction and give them an additional authority. And so to me, it just seems problematic on the rare case that it might happen. So I wanted to clean it up a little bit. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have 3 against, 1 for. Anyone for?
Chair, I just want to provide some clarity.
Go ahead.
I encourage everybody, we have a policy on filling vacancies, SCC vacancies. It's on the DPH website. It was passed back on October 28th. This is the only reason we've ever had a vacancy last longer than this is because nobody wanted to serve. So it's not because there was inaction by the SCC. We just had nobody to vote on. And that has been the case. And this what if it's just hasn't happened. And so we have vacancies that sat there for a good 6 months, 8 months. And so the process is there. With this were to go into place, it's not because of lack of concurrence, it's just because of the lack of voting. So this would not happen. I've never seen the SCC ever vote down in the last 12 years. And prior to that, I was told They've never voted out anybody who was willing to fill in to serve a vacancy. And it's not a chair appointment, just to make sure everybody's aware of this. This is not the chair being able to appoint. You have to apply. There's the application process, just like you had to apply for the state convention. You have to go out and get your 5 signatures. You also have to pay your $10 filing fee. This is not a chair appointment by any stretch of the imagination. This is people willing to serve coming before the SEC, and there being a vote held. It's not a chair appointment. And so yeah. That's the main, and everybody needs to understand that this is not a chair appointment in any way, shape, or form. Mahalo.
Thanks, Michael. Kevin, are you for?
I'm for. Sorry, I'm just wanting to offer some clarifying things.
Yeah, go ahead.
I completely understand what Michael just said, but this is after all that stuff has gone through. If nobody applies, then it becomes a chairperson appointment. And this would only apply if the state central committee doesn't do it. So I guess what I'm saying is this is a preemptive attempt to solve a problem that could happen. The way that I see it is, this is something that could be problematic if it ever happens. I know we're all saying it's a long shot, that's fine. But this is like saying we're not going to add a crosswalk until someone gets hit by a car. We're just looking at it as something that could be problematic and taking action before the bad thing happens.
Thank you. So is there anyone for? If I don't see any for, we'll take action. Are you for, Kate?
No, I'm raising my hand for a roll call vote.
Okay. If I see 5 hands, put them up. We'll go to roll call. Otherwise, it passes. Okay, I see 5. Michael, could you do the roll call?
There can. For proposal number 30, Micah Ayu. Micah Ayu.
Yes.
Jason Bradshaw.
No.
Jason Bradshaw votes no. Alan Burdick.
No.
Alan Burdick votes no. John Chinnen.
No.
John Chinnen votes no. Linda Chong.
Yes.
Linda Chong votes yes. Bart Dane.
No.
Bart Dane votes no. Donna Domingo.
No.
Donna Domingo votes no. Alta Fukumoto.
Yes.
Alta Fukumoto votes yes. Lindsay Garcia. Lindsay Garcia. Troy Hashimoto.
No.
Troy Hashimoto votes no. Paul Holcomb.
No.
Paul Holcomb votes no. Kristen Kahaloa.
Yes.
Kristen Kahaloa votes yes. Darius Keela. Darius Keela. Micah Kosasa.
Yes.
Micah Kosasa votes yes. Darius Keela not present. Mike McCartney. Mike McCartney not present. Larry Meacham.
No.
Larry Meacham votes no. Amy Monk. Amy Monk not present. Sharon Moriwaki.
No.
Sharon Moriwaki votes no. Dave Nagaji.
No.
Dave Nagaji votes no. Richard Oshiro.
No.
Yoshiro votes no. Lynn Otoguro.
Yes.
Lynn Otoguro votes yes. Renee Rabb.
No.
Renee Rabb votes no. Martha Randolph.
No.
Martha Randolph votes no. Carlos Santana.
No.
Carlos Santana votes no. Tony Sanchez.
No.
Tony Sanchez votes no. Sarah Simmons.
No.
Sarah Simmons votes no. Kate Stanley.
No,
Kate
excuse me,
Stanley votes
no.
Greg Takayama. Greg Takayama. Not present. Chris Todd.
No.
Chris Todd votes no. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada. Not present. Kevin Wong.
Yes.
Kevin Wong votes yes. Jesse Suki.
No.
Suki votes no. Danielle Bass. Danielle Bass. Not present. With 7 yeses and 19 noes, this motion fails. On to 31.
We are on to proposal 31. Would the maker of the motion want to speak to the motion?
Yes, Chair.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So this is again just something that I thought seemed odd, that a caucus did not have the requirement of members from all 4 counties. On top of that, I wanted to follow our normal guidelines of 2 different genders. So I said 2 members of different genders from each of the 4 counties to have for caucus members. I will say that we had a lot of discussion on this in the county rules committee. My original proposal stuck with the same ratio as before, saying that there needed to be 2 members from 2 different counties and requiring 20. This would bring it to 8 members. So I had originally proposed 80. We lowered it to 40. And again, just something that I think should be brought up for discussion. Currently, a caucus has just as much authority as a Senate district. I think that there should be a proportional amount of people being represented if they're going to have that much weight on the SCC. Again, just for discussion.
Thank you. Kate, you're up first in the raised hands.
Yeah, I wish to speak against this one, this
Okay.
proposal. I agree with Kevin. This requires a lot more discussion and a lot more discussion than I have available to us tonight. Caucuses are an important part of our structure, but we need to look at the whole thing as a whole. We need to look at our structure, our constitution, our bylaws. I don't think we should do this at this time at all.
Thank you, Kate. Micah?
I'm speaking in support generally of this amendment. I mainly do enjoy or like the addition of the 4 counties. However, I'm comfortable with still remaining at 20, and I would entertain an amendment to 20 if depending on how other people speak about this and feel about it. But I do think the counties, including all counties, I think should be a necessary part of this.
Thank you. Bart? And then Renee after?
Yeah, a few cycles ago, there were some irregularities in how some of the caucuses conduct their elections to the SCC. We set up an investigative committee. I was on it. I think Danielle was also on it. I don't know, Jesse, if you were on there. There were 3 of us, I remember. And we found that there was a lot of confusion and inconsistency. And then sometimes there was actually favoritism whereby incumbent leaders of a caucus were able to use their position to get in paperwork after the deadline or otherwise have advantageous things, even advantageous access to the membership rolls so they could solicit votes, for example. So I do think there is a need for a review of the caucus structure. I would look at it more from the point of view of protecting the rights of all caucus members to be treated fairly within their caucus. And I'm not trying to make a sweeping statement that they are not, but I think that's the perspective that would be helpful, in a sense, sort of a caucus member's Bill of Rights. And that is a more comprehensive kind of discussion than we have time for. I don't think this provides a remedy for that. Thank you.
Thanks, Bart. I wasn't part of that committee. Is there any for? I have 3 against. So right now with hands up, I see Renee. Well, Renee, you can go ahead. I already said you could go. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm not for this.
Okay, but
We're looking for somebody who is.
Yeah. Who is anybody for?
Sorry, Chair, just to clarify, I think Alan is that other Mike Kosasa because I sent him the link. I'm sorry. So I think that might be Alan Burdick, not me.
Oh, Alan. Are you on, Alan?
Yes, I am, and thank you. And I appreciate And Micah, I put something in the chat to say I'm borrowing Micah's link because I never got a link.
Are you for?
No, I'm very much against. As co-chair of the Environmental Caucus, which has a nominal membership of 7,500, we have great difficulty getting even one active member on the county of Hawaii. And the notion in the very first line of the rationale, it says there should be equal representation from each county. Please. You're not going to get equal representation from each county. You're going to get far greater representation from Oahu, invariably. This kind of dictation is quite difficult. I mean, we do our best always to keep membership open to everyone. And I would point out that this proposal resoundingly failed in the Oahu Convention. And as I pointed out in the Oahu Convention, you know, the way membership is structured in the party, every caucus's bylaws states in general terms that it is open to any member of the party who, in general, supports the principles and goals of the caucus. We do not have strict membership requirements, and people check boxes on the DPH website, and we don't go through and try to question people and say, well, maybe you should just drop out. We don't do that. We don't have the people power to do it either. And so we let people stay there, and you know, people just are there as members because they express interest in the caucus, and we give them the opportunity certainly to participate if they want. And a lot of them, unfortunately, simply sit back and read the emails, or don't even bother to read the emails that we send. And to try to
Ellen, stop.
who's telling me to stop?
I think that
your time is up, Alan.
That was an
that was a
accident.
mistake.
That was an accident.
Yeah.
Your 3 minutes are up.
I think I made my point. I just think this is not quite the right way to help nurture the caucuses. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. We have 5 against and 1 for. So I don't want to hear from any more against. I want to hear from a for. Elton, I see your hand. Go ahead, Elton.
Thank you, Chair. I was muted. So this raises the minimum from 20 to 40. And the previous speaker said that in his caucus, there's 7,500 members, or perhaps 1,000. At a different forum, I think someone else said 1,000. So I think there's a problem of representation here, because each caucus is allowed 2 members to the SEC. And if you're having trouble getting 40 members, while other caucuses have 7,500 members, there is an inequity in the representation. So you could have a caucus with 20 members and sending 2 of their members to the SEC, and other caucuses with 7,500 members sending 2 to the SEC. I think that's a problem. And so all this does is raise the minimum from 20 to 40, and I think that's fairly reasonable. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Elton. Lynn, are you for?
I actually had a point of information that
Okay.
a question is caucus membership determined by the checking of the box on the application, which is, kind of unclear, or by the filling out of the form on the caucus website? Because I did check the box myself, and I never got any emails from any caucuses. But then when I did click on the caucus things,
Yeah, I think
I
I
see
think
that
Lynn,
caucus
yeah, I
has
think Lynn, I think this is an easy one to answer. But if I get it wrong, Michael, jump in. This is about creating caucuses. So if you're creating a caucus, you need to meet these minimum standards before you create a caucus. I think the box you're thinking about is when you are a member of the party and you're checking the box about what caucuses you want to be a part of. Is that right, Michael?
You half and half.
Okay.
This is about creating caucuses, which is a momentous thing because they represent minority people that are underrepresented. Also, the minimum you must maintain to stay a caucus. So if you like the Caputa caucus, back in, I want to say it was 2016, when Jackie Young ran around the state convention getting signatures instead of being part of the convention, she went around and got signatures to save the Caputa caucus because they didn't meet the criteria. But to answer Lynn's question, when you check that box, it does not make you a member of that caucus. It just tells you that you're interested in that caucus. Every caucus has the separate membership form that you need to fill out. So when Alan says that they have 7,500 members, that is not actually accurate because according to their own bylaws, you have to fill out a separate form that says you're going to support the mission of that caucus. Otherwise, the Stonewall Caucus would be forced to take on anybody, even if they were anti everything that we stand for. So clicking that box just lets us know you're interested. And the only reason that was one of the reasons the meeting proposal was put forward, to make sure that people used high dems so that everybody knew that was interested, at least knew when the meetings were for those different caucuses. So it was a wider thing. So y'all killed that. So, but then you're going to force this higher level on us. Again, this is, yeah. So anyways, there's your answer.
Michael, quick question. So caucuses are not created once and then in forever they're existing. Is certified every so often?
Yes, you're certified once a year. You're required. We actually put this in last convention where you're required every year to turn in your officers, and that you are required to submit reports at least twice a year to the SEC. And there's also meeting requirements. If it's a section down below, so and it refers to this section.
So this would impact caucuses moving forward as well, not just
the ones currently we have, and actually being able to for anyone wanting to create a new caucus, because like the DNC's on our butts about creating a disability caucus, and they want to know why we don't have a Filipino caucus or a Marshallese caucus. And so anyway, so there you go.
Okay. So does anyone want to speak for, or can we take this to action? Kevin, for?
Yeah, I just want to offer a clarifying thing because I've seen some stuff in the chat, and just to note, this doesn't have anything to do with them actually showing up to meetings. It's just showing that interest in joining. They don't have to show up to meet this number. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay. So if I see 5 hands, we'll go to roll call. If I see less than 5, it passes.
Sorry, I have another question.
Okay, before I call the roll call, because I see 5 hands, so I will call a roll call. Do you want to ask your question quickly, Lynn?
Oh, thank you. Because I see that Carlos wrote that caucuses do not represent their members, they represent their issue. So is it true that caucuses are not, is the SEC member of the caucus is not a representative position? It's more just an issue-based, they don't necessarily represent.
I don't quite understand that either, but
Oh, okay. I just want, thank you.
Actually, speaking on behalf of the Stonewall Caucus, we definitely represent our membership because I keep our members informed of what we do. And what's happening at the SEC. You are supposed to be representing your members. So, and not just
It sounds a little esoteric, but if you're representing issues and you're responsible to your members, but in any case, we're calling a roll call. So I see, 6 hands. Go ahead, Michael.
Mike Ayu.
Yes.
Mike Ayu votes yes. Jason Bradshaw.
No.
Jason Bradshaw votes no. Alan Burdick.
No.
Alan Burdick votes no. John Shinnon.
No.
John Shinnon votes no. Linda Chong.
No.
Linda Chong votes no. Bart Dame. Bart Dame.
No.
Bart Dame votes no. Donna Domingo.
No.
Donna Domingo votes no. Elton Fukumoto.
Yes.
Elton Fukumoto votes yes. Lindsay Garcia. Lindsay Garcia, not present. Troy Hashimoto.
Yes.
Troy Hashimoto votes yes. Paul Holcomb.
No.
Paul Holcomb votes no. Kristen Kahaloa.
Yes.
Kristen Kahaloa votes yes. Darius Keela. Darius Keela, not present. Michael Casasa.
Yes.
Michael Casasa votes yes. Mike McCartney. Mike McCartney. Larry Meacham.
No.
Larry Meacham votes no. Amy Monk. Amy Monk. Sharon Moriwaki.
Yes.
Sharon Moriwaki votes yes. Amy Monk not present. Dave Nagaji.
No.
Dave Nagaji votes no. Richard Oshiro.
Yes.
Richard Oshiro votes yes. Lynn Otoguro.
Yes.
Lynn Otoguro votes yes. Renee Rabb.
No.
Renee Rabb votes no. Martha Randolph.
No, no matter how you pronounce my name.
What did I say? Okay, sorry. Carlos Santana.
No.
Carlos Santana votes no. Tony Sanchez. Tony Sanchez.
No.
Tony Sanchez votes no. Sarah Simmons.
No.
Sarah Simmons votes no. Kate Stanley.
No.
Kate Stanley votes no. Greg Takayama. Greg Takayama. Chris Todd.
Yes.
Chris Todd votes yes. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada, not present. Kevin Wong.
Yes.
Kevin Wong votes yes. Jesse Suki.
No.
Jesse Suki votes no. Danielle Bass. Chair Bass. Not present. With 10 yeses and 16 nos, this motion fails. Thirty-two. Sorry.
Aside from the Hawaiian music that we learned at perform, we also tend to dabble in pop ancient. This next song is one of the songs that we grew up listening to.
Whoever's speaking, I can't hear you. Can anyone else?
Jesse Suki, is that you speaking?
So this is proposal 32. Sorry, I was
Okay.
looking
Dave
at my
Nagaji,
wrong
you have your
notes.
hand up?
Yeah, speak on the motion, whoever proposed this.
Is you the maker?
This is just another thing that I saw that didn't have a voting requirements, so I proposed a quorum for discussion purposes. This was separated from the previous one so that they could be talked about independently. Again, just for discussion, I think this is the appropriate place to set minimum requirements for the caucus bylaws that they allow, or they're allowed to set their own voting requirements in them prior or after this. But I think this is where we can place minimum requirements on their voting procedures.
Thank you. Kate?
I have my hand up.
Yes.
See me?
I've been recognized. Martha, may I go ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. I meant to just ask the question before anyone else talked. I can't see myself.
Okay, I'm
Go ahead, Kate.
speaking again. I am speaking against this proposal. I believe that the matter of caucuses need a thorough review in conjunction with a review of all the bylaws and the Constitution. Caucuses are very important. We need to give more attention and more time to discuss all the points that have been raised by this proposal and the ones going on before. Please vote no.
Thank you, Kate. Michael, you're next in the queue. Oh, I'm sorry, Micah Kosasa, you're
Actually,
next in the queue.
my hand got taken down, Chair. I was after Kate.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Michael, and then Micah.
Okay. I speak against this motion. If we were to hold this same theory across to the counties for their conventions, the Oahu County Convention would never been able to happen. They had less than about 200 some odd delegates when they actually had 850 that were supposed to be eligible to be there without counting the electeds. You're holding the caucuses to a higher standard than we do the counties, than we do anybody else, than we do to be able to do anything. If this passes, you are going to put caucuses out of business because they will never be able to get anything done. We have, with some of us that have larger membership numbers than others, that would require us to get more than half of our members to show up. We can't even do that for the state convention coming up. We have 1,100 plus elected delegates that are available. If we were to hold this at the state level, we wouldn't be able to get anything done. Caucuses are supposed to be about empowering those unempowered and those who do not have a seat at the table. This does not empower anybody. This disenfranchises caucuses to an nth degree. We saw elections on the March 6th, where people were elected with just 2 or 3 votes to a district chair, or actually one is 8 votes to a district chair position. And that's a very powerful position in this party with all the power that it comes with. So I encourage everybody to vote this down. If you have concerns about a caucus, get involved with the caucuses, read their bylaws. They all have their own requirements when it comes to quorum. And those have already been reviewed by the state party and approved on how they establish quorum for the purposes of these elections. So I encourage everyone just to put this down. Mahalo.
Thank you, Michael. Micah's up, and then David.
Yes, I guess I speak in opposition unless there is an amendment. And I think I echo Michael's statement about, I think just the way it's written right now, a quorum of all members means that every single member of the caucus has to be there. And I don't think that was the intention of this. I could see, and I could see an argument for having a on a state level, a minimum quorum for this, that a quorum, and I understand that the individual caucuses have their own bylaws that might indicate that, but I think from a state level, I think it still would be appropriate to set a very even low minimum, that it shouldn't be 3 members of the caucus make a quorum, that it should be some number. So I am going to make an amendment. I am putting out just a number, just to put out a number, and I'm open to friendly amendments to that number. But moving to amend it to read a minimum quorum of 10 members of the caucus, and I'm putting it in the chat. We vote, and so after and a minimum quorum of 10 members of the caucus.
Hey, Micah, can I recommend that you just take out quorum and just say minimum 10 members?
Well, the
Because
quorum.
it's not a quorum if it's 10 members, right?
Well, the quorum is 10 members. Because the quorum is
minimum?
setting the amount of required individuals for a meeting to be valid, right? So to be valid, it requires.
Oh, so you're
10
setting
members.
the quorum at 10. Okay,
Yeah, 10,
okay. I'm
exactly.
sorry. Yeah. I was late. Do I get a second on that motion?
Second.
Who was that?
Kevin.
Kevin? Okay, thank you. Micah's motion, Kevin seconds. Do we have discussion on the motion as amended?
Point of order, you just lowered everybody's quota. Again, Chair, may I speak against the motion
Yes,
before us?
against the motion.
This is required, again, I'm gonna go back to what Kate says. All the caucus's bylaws have at least 12. I know this because I've read them all. So we already met your criteria. This is not necessary at this point. I ask you that just vote this down and so we can move forward and just vote this whole thing down because we're already meeting that. And if people are concerned about caucuses, get involved. We are the workhorses of this party. We're the ones that put our platform into action, whether it's fighting for Red Hill, it's fighting for a woman's right to choose, bodily autonomy, or when we vote down the Constitution, when we pass that constitutional amendment this fall for and support marriage equality. So get involved with us if you're worried about us. We're actually doing the work of your party. So I encourage you to vote this down and vote the whole thing down. Mahalo.
Thank you, Michael. I recommend we vote on the amendment so we can get back to the main motion, which I'm more interested in actually just getting to the main motion. But if folks want to debate, does anybody want to debate the amendment further?
I did say I was open to a friendly amendment. So if it's currently 12, I was just truly trying to make a number to get this going. If it is currently 12 for every other caucus, I would have been fine with at least 12. I understand your disagreement with the overall, but I'm just trying to set a number for that.
Kevin, are you okay with the 12?
Yep.
Okay, so the amended motion is a minimum quorum of 12. So that's the amendment. Let's take it to a vote. If I see 5 or more hands, we'll do a roll call. If I see less than 5, it passes. And I see 5. Can we do a roll call, Michael?
Sure. Okay, hold on one second. This is 32A.
Correction.
32A.
Question, this is just voting on the amendment, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
that's why
we're
I said
voting on the amendment.
32A.
Okay, thank you.
32A means the amendment.
Thank you.
Okay, 32A is on the amendment before us. Micah, are you?
Yes.
Micah, you votes yes. Jason Bradshaw.
No.
Jason Bradshaw votes no. Alan Burdick.
No.
Alan Burdick votes no. John Chinnan.
No.
John Chinnan votes no. Linda Chong.
No.
Linda Chong votes no. Bart Dane.
No.
Bart Dane votes no. Donna Domingo.
No.
Donna Domingo votes no. Elton Fukumoto.
Yes.
Elton Fukumoto votes yes. Lindsay Garcia. Lindsay Garcia. Not present. Troy Hashimoto.
No.
Troy Hashimoto votes no. Paul Holcomb.
No.
Paul Holcomb votes no. Kristen Kahaloa.
Yes.
Kristen Kahaloa votes yes. Darius Keela. Darius Keela. Michael Casasa.
Yes.
Michael Casasa votes yes. Darius Keela not present. Mike McCartney. Mike McCartney not present. Larry Meacham.
No.
Larry Meacham votes no. Amy Monk. Amy Monk. Amy Monk not present. Sharon Moriwaki.
Yes.
Sharon Moriwaki votes yes. Dave Nagaji.
Abstain.
Dave Nagaji abstains. Richard Oshiro.
No.
Richard Oshiro votes no. Lynn Otogoro.
Yes.
Lynn Otogoro votes yes. Renee Rabb.
No.
Renee Rabb votes no. Martha Randolph.
No.
Martha Randolph votes no. Carlos Santana.
No.
Carlos Santana votes no. Tony Sanchez.
No.
Tony Sanchez votes no. Sarah Simmons.
No.
Sarah Simmons votes no. Kate Stanley.
No.
Kate Stanley votes no. Greg Takayama. Greg Takayama. Not present. Chris Todd.
Yes.
Chris Todd votes yes. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada. Not present. Kevin Wong.
Yes.
Kevin Wong votes yes. Jesse Suki.
No.
Jesse Suki votes no. Chair Bass. Danielle Bass. Not present. With 8 yeses and 17 nos, the motion, the amendment fails.
Okay, we're back to the main motion. And I think we've had enough debate. Unless someone is dying to say something about this still.
Thank you, Chair. Could I speak?
Yes.
Sorry, but I was a bit dying to say something about this measure just because I'm involved
I
with
can
the
tell, yes.
oh, sorry,
Go ahead.
hot mic.
No,
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry. I
No, it's
didn't
not
know you were
hot.
talking to
Yeah.
me. Okay,
I
okay.
was. Go ahead, go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, so I'm involved with Women's Caucus, and the reason why I was eager to speak on this was that multiple members of the caucus asked me to vote in opposition to this on the Rules Committee and to articulate their concerns about it, essentially because caucuses in general, including the caucuses which I'm part of, have a problem of people joining the caucus and remaining as members, but not showing up to meetings or having a very low turnout to meetings when they do show up. So I do think that if this did get passed and did go forward, it would pose practical problems with us reaching this quorum for the Women's Caucus, again, just because a lot of people join and then don't regularly attend our meetings. And I'm also involved with Young Democrats for a couple of years, and Young Democrats have not asked me to make any vote on this or make any statement on this, but individually as a member of the Young Democrats caucus, I also think that from my experiences with that caucus, this would likewise pose practical problems just because we have the same issue of people signing up and being members, but not regularly attending meetings, which would make it very hard for us to meet quorum and duly elect officers. So I'll be voting in opposition. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's take action. Oh, Elton, do you have something to say?
Yes, I have something different to say. I think that people are assuming that quorum means a majority of all members. I don't think it means that. For example, this particular committee has a quorum of only 13, even though we have a minimum membership of 41. So our quorum is less than 1/3 of our actual membership. So I think quorum here simply means that there's a reasonable number of members who should be attending, and it's not necessarily a majority. So with that in mind, I think that's what the meaning of this this particular edition is.
Okay.
Mike Senior.
I think Mike Senior is Burdick, right?
No.
Yes, it
Is that
is.
Mike Senior?
Yes, I am changing identities very quickly.
Go ahead. Make it short, Alan, please.
Respectfully disagree with Elton. I think the words are very clear. Majority vote and quorum of all members of the caucus. All members means all members. And you can't gainsay that. All members for environmental caucus means a quorum of 7,500. Sorry. We can't quibble with that. And no, we cannot handle this. Absolutely not. You want to kill the environmental caucus or another large caucus like Stonewall? That's the way to do it. And that's why this proposal with this language was also handily voted down at Oahu County Convention. Please vote against this. That was a kind of risky thing by voting against the amendment of 10. I was a little worried about that because it brings us back to all members. So please, everybody, vote this down. Thank you.
Okay, so we
Chair-
heard
Chair,
from
may I-
everyone.
Chair, may I respond to that?
Make
Chair?
it quick, please. Make it
Yes,
quick.
once
We wanna
once
finish
again,
it.
quorum does not mean majority. So as long as it's a reasonable number, it does not have to be a majority of the caucus. Thank you.
Okay, let's see. If we see 5 hands, we'll take it to a roll call. If we see less than 5, it passes as written. Let's do a roll call, Michael. Thank you. This is on proposal 32.
Okay, 32. Proposal 32 as it's originally proposed. Micah, you.
Yes.
Yes. Jason Bradshaw.
No.
Jason Bradshaw votes no. I'm sorry, Mike IU votes yes, but Jason Bradshaw votes no. Alan Burdick.
No.
Alan Burdick votes no. John Chinnen.
No.
John Chinnen votes no. Linda Chong.
No.
Linda Chong votes no. Bart Dane.
No.
Bart Dane votes no. Donna Domingo.
No.
Donna Domingo votes no. Elton Fukumoto.
Yes.
Elton votes yes. Elton Fukumoto votes yes. Lindsay Garcia. Lindsay Garcia. Troy Hashimoto.
No.
Troy Hashimoto votes no. Paul Holcomb.
No.
Paul Holcomb votes no. Kristen Kahaloa.
Yes.
Kristen Kahaloa votes yes. Let's see. Darius Keela. Darius Keela. Micah Kasasa.
No.
Micah Kasasa votes no. Mike McCartney. Mike McCartney. Larry Meacham.
No.
Larry Meacham votes no. Amy Monk. Amy Monk. Sharon Moriwaki.
No.
Sharon Moriwaki votes no. Dave Nagaji.
No.
Dave Nagaji votes no. Richard Oshiro.
No.
Richard Oshiro votes no. Lynn Otoguro.
Yes.
Lynn Otoguro votes yes. Renee Rabb.
No.
Renee Rabb votes no. Martha Randolph.
No.
Martha Randolph votes no. Carlos Santana.
No.
Carlos Santana votes no. Tony Sanchez.
No.
Tony Sanchez votes no. Sarah Simmons.
No.
Sarah Simmons votes no. Kate Stanley.
No.
Kate Stanley votes no. Greg Takayama. Greg Takayama. Not present. Chris Todd.
No.
Chris Todd votes no. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada. Kevin Wong.
Yes.
Kevin Wong votes yes. Jesse Suki.
No.
No. Jesse Suki votes no. Chair Bass. Danielle Bass. Not present. With 5 yeses and 21 noes, the motion fails.
Okay, so now we're on the last one, right? 33?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would the maker of the motion like to speak to the motion?
A point of order, this was similar to number 4, which I think we already discussed, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we agreed
Yes.
that,
Right, we already addressed 33.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is taken care of.
Okay, let me take a look at that thing.
number 4.
Yeah, let's see number 4.
Oh, yeah.
Is it the same?
Sorry, it should not have been in the agenda. Forgive me.
Ah, I was right. 32 was the last one.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
well, forgive the chair.
Okay,
Shazam.
Shazam. So, okay, our agenda says now we need to do a 2/3 vote thing of the late stuff. What late stuff do we have?
Chair, if I may, there's only one late proposal that's different than everything else we've already gone over, and that is proposal number 10 from the Oahu County. Everything else has
Okay.
already been brought up by this committee.
Good. Right, I was hoping it was just that. Okay, so
Okay.
can we put up number 10?
Chair, this is an undebatable motion. It's a
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah, I just
they
want
can
everybody to
discuss it.
see it though,
Okay.
so they know what we're talking about. But Michael's correct. It's a non-debatable motion, 2/3 vote before we consider it.
Oh, Michael, I can't find it in the late submissions folder.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me go pull it. While I'm doing that, reminder that tomorrow, 5 p.m. is the deadline to get your ceremonial resolutions in. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. is also the deadline for all appointments. It's also the deadline for all appointments from your district chairs for delegates and alternates. Is also the deadline if you're already for anybody who was appointed or elected or an automatic delegate to register and pay. Elected, you might want to tell your friends that some of them have paid and have not registered. Registration is a 2-point system. We have sent out multiple emails on this topic to them. So.
Okay, well, while Michael hunts that down, I see Bart, you have your hand up?
Yeah, two things. One is, can you put the text up for us to view? And
Yeah.
second, since I'm already familiar with this, having read it, I would like to second Elton's proposal that this be considered.
Okay. That's
Okay,
it, okay.
Yeah, sorry, Bart, we're having a little technical difficulty. I
know
can't
where it is.
find that.
Hold on.
that
I
proposal.
know where it is. Hold on a second.
Oh, in the chat, Mike is asking me, and I don't mind at all, that this submission is from the Oahu County because the convention was scheduled after the due date, which is why they're bringing it after the due date. And there were others, but those were submitted by individuals knowing that that would happen. So we considered those other ones already. Thank you, Micah.
Okay, it's in there now. OCD recommended amendment number 10.
Where is it?
It's in the working Google Docs. It's all the way at the bottom.
Can you put it up for us
Jimmy,
to
can
read
you
it?
please put that up?
Is this the right one,
Okay,
Michael?
there it is.
No,
It was 32.
No. Nope, that's not the right one.
Okay. It was just
Okay, hold-
uploaded to the working docs, yeah?
Yeah, it's all the way at the bottom.
Uh,
At least on this is on mine.
okay. Okay.
Oh,
Now
there
I
it is.
see.
Oh, yeah.
All right. There we
Okay,
go.
so this is non-debatable, so no comments. I'll give you a minute to look at it, and then we'll take a vote. How many is 2/3, Michael?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Point of
Sorry.
order, I just want to clarify that we're just voting if we're going to consider this. We're not voting to approve.
Yes.
The
Yes, that's correct.
The 2/3
I have
is
an easy way of,
twice as many yeses as nos.
yes, I agree with that.
What's that? I'm sorry.
The 2/3, all you have to have is twice as many yeses as nos.
Okay, what is that?
It depends on how many votes we get, because somebody might abstain.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I agree.
It's 2/3 of the votes cast.
Correct.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
Not-
because we
not
have
to-
quorum, right?
sorry, it's 2/3 of the members present voting.
Oh, members present. Okay.
Members present, sorry.
It's
Mhm.
2/3 of the members present, not
Yes, ma'am.
2/3 of the people voting.
Yeah.
Well, then that can be determined now by how many members are present.
Well,
Yes.
Let me go
Yeah.
back and check. Let me do, okay, Alan
me see
Burke is now here.
Okay.
Lindsay
Sure.
Garcia is still gone. Mike Williams not here. Krista Kaloa.
Oh, are we doing the roll call vote?
No, I'm
No.
checking, I'm establishing your vote.
Oh, you know what, Michael? Let's just make it quick on us. Let's just do the 2/3. Let's just do the vote, and then we can count after we take the vote. Okay, is that okay?
Now, well, yeah, somebody asked. Oh, that was you.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I asked, but then
We can
that
do the
just
roll
takes more
call
time.
as we do with the vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So-
So we're ready for a roll call. let's do it, Michael. So this vote, folks, is 2/3 vote we need to put this on the table. Once we put it on the table, then we'll have debate and we'll vote on it. If we don't put it on the table, then that's the end of our night. Go ahead, Michael.
Okay, Micah, you.
Yes.
Micah, you votes yes. Jason Bradshaw.
Yes.
Jason Bradshaw votes yes. Alan Burdick.
Yes.
Alan Burdick votes yes. John Chinnen.
Yes.
John Chinnen votes yes. Linda Chong.
Yes.
Linda Chong votes yes. Bart Dame.
Yes.
Bart Dame votes yes. Donna Domingo.
I'll abstain.
Donna Domingo abstains. Elton Fukumoto.
Yes.
Elton Fukumoto votes yes. Lindsay Garcia. Lindsay Garcia. Troy Hashimoto.
Yes.
Troy Hashimoto votes yes. Paul Holcomb.
Yes.
Paul Holcomb votes yes. Kristen Kahaloa.
Yes.
Kristen Kahaloa votes yes. Darius Keela. Darius Keela. Not present. Micah Kosasa.
Yes.
Micah Kosasa votes yes. Mike McCartney. Mike McCartney. Larry Meacham.
Yes.
Larry Meacham votes yes. Amy Monk. Amy Monk. Sharon Moriwaki.
Yes.
Sharon Moriwaki votes yes. Dave Nagaji.
Yes.
Dave Nagaji votes yes. Richard Oshiro.
No.
Richard Oshiro votes no. Lynn Otoguro.
Yes.
Lynn Otoguro votes yes. Renee Rabb.
Yes.
Renee Rabb votes yes. Martha Randolph.
Yes.
Martha Randolph votes yes. Carlos Santana.
Yes.
Carlos Santana, can you please repeat?
Yes.
Carlos Santana votes yes. Troy Hashimoto, Tony Sanchez.
Yes.
Tony Sanchez votes yes. Sarah Simmons.
Yes.
Sarah Simmons votes yes. Kate Stanley.
No.
Kate Stanley votes no. Greg Takayama. Greg Takayama. Chris Todd.
Yes.
Chris Todd votes yes. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada. Eileen Wada not present. Kevin Wong.
Yes.
Kevin Wong votes yes. Jesse Suki.
Abstain.
Jesse Suki abstains. Daniel Bass. Daniel Bass. Not present. 22 yeses, 2 nos, 2 abstentions. You have your 2/3.
Thank you, Michael. I would like the maker of the motion to speak to the motion, but before you do that, whoever the maker was, I'm just curious when you speak on it, why Hawaii County has to publish.
Both sides.
Okay, this is my baby, Alan Burdick.
Okay. Okay, Alan.
I did this because I was utterly appalled to see that we had a PPP, presidential preference primary, in which it had a turnout of only about 1,500 people. It was horrible. That was because somebody made the decision to make the publication notice in midweek. Nobody reads midweek. And, you know, some people have said, well, that's because there was no contest. Well, I think that, you know, turnout was because people went to midweek instead of the advertiser. And you know, part of it was because we had no money in the treasury for interesting reasons. But I think we need to change our game, and we need to find real ways of getting people informed and make sure that people are given actual notice. You know, that's why we need to do it. the reasons for the East and West Hawaii, I didn't make any changes. The idea is to keep the way things are previously. If somebody wants to make a change in East and West Hawaii, then that's fine. But I wasn't trying to do that. I was more concerned about generally around the state, and to try to do something that would ensure that we don't have the horrible turnout that we had this year.
Thank you, Alan. I just wanted to note in the comments, Carlos had a good idea, and I agree. We should call this proposal 34, since it's on the table now. Anyone else want to speak on this, for or against?
Kate has her hand raised.
Go ahead, Kate.
Jesse? Okay, thank you, Jesse. I wish to speak against this. First of all, people do read the midweek. I'm an avid reader of it. It depends on all kinds of reasons what people read or do not read. The reason we use the midweek is because we could afford that. Second of all, not everybody in the party has access to internet or social media. And third, actually on the website, there was plenty of notification about the biennial meetings and what was going to occur there. And the other point I'd like to make is that our turnout in this election is just a little bit less than the turnout for people in the 2012 biennial election when President Barack Obama was running for his second term. So there's many reasons why we don't have turnout. It isn't because we advertised in the midweek. Okay, I think we shouldn't do this. Much more discussions needed for what kind of notification we need to have.
Thanks, Kate. Michael's up, and then Bart.
Thank you. Again, as someone who's helped put on a thing or two when it comes to the biennial elections, is that taking away the publication piece is a bad idea. We should be supporting our fourth estate, not ignoring them. There are still those that read the paper every day. Everything listed there is added to this was something we did this past time. But it requires people stepping up to the plate and being part of the communications team to make it actually happen. Just putting it in the bylaws does not ensure that it does actually happen. We can point to lots of things that are in the Constitution and bylaws, but I think it's a really bad idea. Relying solely on the party's email notification system is as you're speaking as your communications co-chair. HIDEMS is good for what it is, but we do not have the functionality that you see with other things. Like we use MailChimp for the convention, because you can see it, who's opening, what kind of hits you're getting, what kind of deliverability rate you get. We do not really have that functionality with HIDEMS. Social media, we did do that as well. So we did do everything this is asking for here this last time. And so part of the problem was the weather. Part of the problem was the fact that we had to switch streams in mid. This was a whole brand new PPP, and we were all brought on board in November to right the ship. So that if we're talking about it takes a good year to plan the biennial election and a good 4 years to plan a PPP, and it was all done in 5 months. So using this year's as a barometer to take away something that has been a pillar of our party, to making sure that we can reach everybody at every level wherever they're at, to let them know, and as well as the requirement of sending them to county websites when we have counties, no offense, that are defunct. Their websites have not been updated, and so sending to the state party would be something that we actually have control over, but not sending to the county websites where we do not have no control. We don't know they've been updated. So that's just my 2 cents as somebody who's put on one of these or two, and been your communications co-chair for the last forget how many long months. But thank you.
Jesse, this
Thank
is
you,
Larry.
Michael.
My hand is up.
Oh, Bart was next and then Larry.
Let me yield to Larry because he's actually responding to one of my questions, and then I'd like to speak.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, Larry. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, Kate is correct. This was a normal, roughly normal turnout for the situation that we're in, where we have an incumbent member of our party being president. Second of all, we have kind of a special situation here because we have a monopoly of both the daily newspapers and the midweek in Oahu, Kauai, and the Big Island. And now that Maui News has gone to online only and 1 day a week, it may prevail in Maui too. The result of that monopolistic control is that they charge triple, almost triple, the retail rate for political ads. So it ended up costing us $17,423 for those ads, which like doubled our budget. So I would like to see the cutout there, eliminating the newspaper general circulation. So I'm roughly in favor of this. I think we have to chew it over more. I agree with Kate that it needs more chewing. So I would oppose it for now, but I think we have to move forward on this and not submit ourselves to the newspaper monopoly. By the way, midweek has tripled the circulation of the Star Advertiser.
Wow, triple the circulation.
Yes.
Okay.
Star Advertiser is 70,000, midweek is 220, something like that.
Interesting.
Okay, Bart, you're up, and then after you, it's Dave.
Yeah, so I was concerned about the practical impact in terms of the costs. That's what I asked Larry to speak to. The turnout was not good this time, but again, it's structural. It's related to the fact we had a non-competitive presidential election. When there is a competitive presidential race, then it really practically falls upon the campaigns to energize their base and turnout vote. Combined with, if there is some drama, then we can get some free media out of it, which will call attention to it. I guess Kate reads it. I'm one of those people who opens the mailbox, picks up the midweek, and dumps it in the trash before I take it back into the house. So I really think it is not an effective way of communicating, and I'm very conscious of the digital divide, which we're suffering from in the party. But I don't think that wasting money, frankly, on midweek is a good way to increase turnout for our presidential preference poll or our biennial elections. So I support this. I do think we should remove the carve out though for the Big Island.
My only comment, Bart, would be that you put that paper in the blue recycling bin. So that's all.
Actually, I don't, because paper recycling is bullshit in Hawaii, to use a technical term.
Dave, you're up.
Thanks, Chair. So I like the idea of having more notice via email, social media, and all that online stuff, but I'm also conscious of the fact that a lot of people in Hawaii, including a lot of people who vote regularly, aren't super internet savvy. So I wanted to know if I could put in an amendment to, and I'm not sure what the exact language would be, so I hope the scribe will help me if I'm not precise here, but to make it so that we keep the new requirement for email, social media, but get rid of the strikeout at the top that's striking out by publication of at least one newspaper in general circulation of the counties, and so that we keep the requirement that there be a newspaper circulation. So that's the amendment that I want to propose, and if that's not stylistically good, then I'm open to stylistic edits for people.
I'll second that.
Larry, that was Larry second? Okay.
Yes.
We'll wait until he clears that striking. Yes, sometimes Google Docs can be a pain. Okay, is that it? That looks right.
Oh, I thought you meant you were gonna delete that. I withdraw my second, sorry.
I'll second
Yeah,
it.
I
This
think
is Holcomb.
Holcomb. Okay, Holcomb seconds. Does that look like what you wanted for the amendment?
Oh, yes, Chair, that is what I was going for.
Okay. Um, does anyone want to debate this? Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, I can speak in favor to this. This is something similar than I was going to mention. To apologize for my voice, a little under the weather. So what I wanted to talk about was the idea of public notice and the fact that most of the social media doesn't actually provide public notice because they're at private signups and organizations. And I definitely feel for the original drafter of this proposal that the media situation here is not great and it is very expensive, but at least it's open to the public. You can go to the library and you can pick up a newspaper or midweek at different places, and it's open to the access of everyone in the state. Whereas social media, social media is not. Nearly all of the popular social media platforms require a login and verification by phone number, sometimes an ID, etc. So that's why I'm in favor of this amendment.
Thank you, Paul. I see Kate and then Elton.
I'd just like to point out that we have a party membership of probably 75,000 people. Some of those people actually look at the paper and they might become active and show up. So I think public notice is very important. And I don't think we're ready to change this.
Elton, and then I think it's Burdick Escalona Senior.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, this amendment I don't think is good because it removes the whole reason for this amendment, which is to save some money. And by putting that in, you don't save any money at all. But in the added language, there is, in the last sentence, the secretary may post a summary notice by newspaper publication. So what is thought of there is that instead of a large advertisement, which is very costly, just have a small one which says, go to these websites for more information. And that's right there in the original language. Thank you, Chair.
Go ahead, Alan.
Thank you. That I'm agreeing with Elton. The whole point is not to have a large, detailed publication in the advertiser that costs us an arm and a leg. And that's the whole point. And you're destroying that by reinstating the language in lines 2 and 3. Please don't reinstate that language.
You're against the amendment.
I'm against the amendment, yeah.
Okay. So we have 2 for the amendment, 3 against. I see Representative Moriwaki has her hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to see as much notice given in various forms of media. So the publication in the newspaper, and I'm just thinking of a friendly amendment of saying a newspaper of general circulation or by email notification or social media as is seen most likely to provide notice to the public, and then leave in that sentence of secretary may post a summary in the newspaper to directly the reader to the party's internet websites, but not having it separated, to have it as 3 different modes of communication or publication of the notice.
Sorry, I meant Senator Moriwaki. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Is there so how would we
I would say by publication at least once in the newspaper, or comma instead of and said or by the party's email notification system, comma, or by such social media notifications as the secretary determines most likely to provide an actual notice to the public, period. then leave in that secretary will post the summary notice, because I think that's a cheaper way of getting the information out and directing them to a site where they can get more information. Because again, if it's so expensive that we can't do it, or we're going to be in the red trying to inform people, we should have different options, and looking at our budget, what can be do that would at least give notice to as many people as possible.
All right, folks, so we're sort of workshopping this, and I'll allow some leniency in our Roberts, but is the original maker of the motion and the second, are you okay with these changes?
Sorry, I'm just letting Describe do his architecture work before I say anything.
Okay.
So it'd be comma and or so by publication at least once in the newspaper, comma, and instead of and, it would be or, and you go down to where's the email? Or then go down to where you start the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th line down, or use of the party's email notification system, comma, and then put that next to the publication. By publication, at least once in the comma after the counties, or the party's email use of the party's email notification system, comma, or by such social media notification as the secretary may determine most effective or most.
Wait, sorry, Senator Moore, Senator Murabaki, this highlighted part, does it not satisfy the proposed language, or?
Well, I'm thinking that by putting it up in the front on that first 2 lines, you're saying that with it being separated, you have to do the both. By doing the or, you can use any one of those options. If you can't afford putting it in the midweek for 17 thou, you've got these other options, and it doesn't, that you're not without any publication because it requires you to publish. So it gives you options. It's either publication in a newspaper general circulation, or the email system of the party, or social media found to be most effective. So by publication, at least once in the newspaper of general circulation, comma, use of the party's email system, take out notice. Just cross off notice and go to use of the party's email notification, or by such social media notifications as the secretary may determine most likely to provide actual notice of, period. The appropriate communication to each Democratic Party member, not less than 20 days is fine. Then take out the notice shall be given to the counties, and all of that goes out, and then stop there. The secretary may post a summary notice by newspaper publication, directs readers to the party's internet websites. So that what that does, it gives 3 options for publishing the notice. So
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Senator.
Yeah,
Jimmy,
no,
can you hit the B for bold so you get rid of that? You know, hit the B so we can get rid of that bar, because I can't see the. Yeah, thank you.
You want to leave in that it should be published 20 days, no later than 20 days prior to the election meeting. So that stays in, but
Okay, let's read this thing out loud. It says, the official notice designating the time, place, and purpose of such meeting shall be given by the secretary of the county committee by publication at least once in one newspaper of general circulation in each of the counties, use of the party's email notification system, or by such social media notifications as the secretary may determine will be most likely to provide actual notice to the public. So there's options. And then, or by appropriate written communication to each Democratic Party employee member not less than 20 calendar days prior to the biennial election meeting of such year. Secretary may post a summary notice by newspaper publication that directs readers to the party's county and state internet websites provided, and then there's the county of Hawaii.
Well, that conflicts with the first part then. Because you have a general notice and a summary notice.
Well, it says may, so it doesn't conflict.
Yeah, I think it's if you don't have money, that would be kicked in, right? So that you don't have a full page ad, but you have
Yeah, it does say may.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Dave as the maker of this amendment. So I'll just say that when Alan presented what he was initially saying when we started consideration, my understanding was that the problem that we were trying to solve was the fact of low turnout during the current year. And because of that, I was saying we should keep both newspaper circulation or newspaper notification in addition to digital stuff. But from what people are saying, it sounds like that's perhaps secondary to the issue of the money that it costs to publish in the newspaper. So because of that, I'm okay with the amendments that were put in by Senator Moriwaki that basically says that that any of these forms of notification can be done at, I believe, the discretion of the secretary. And that way, the secretary can figure out based on what the money is and what situation is, which of these or which combination of these is the best option. So I'm okay with the current iteration of this amendment.
Okay, does whoever seconded that motion, are you okay with the changes?
No, simply because we seem to have removed the requirement for doing email at all. I mean, it's possible that you could just do newspaper, just do social, and not use the party email system, unless I'm reading it wrong.
Okay, sorry, this is Dave again. I'll ask the scribe, and I'm sorry, scribe, that we're turning this into a tortured statute here, but could you make it so that the email notification and the social media notification is required and the newspaper notification is discretionary as decided by the party chair?
You could put the two together and then put a period and say additionally, the notification shall be by through the party's email notification system. So you put all of the optional ones together and the ones that you're requiring of distribution by the party email be a requirement. So it's by publication and the general circulation or by social media. And then I would put wordsmithing it, like this is kind of tough, but then I would put the secretary may post a summary notice right after up in the front, and then requiring that the secretary shall notify shall use the party's email notification system. something like that. So that if you're requiring it, all of this is, the first part of it is requiring a couple of different options, but the purpose is to provide notice to as many people as possible within the budget we have. So it gives you some options. The email is free. So, I mean, that if that's required, then you would have a separate sentence saying, provided that the party's use of the party's email notification system, like a proviso that says it shall be provided that notice shall be given via or through the party's email notification system. If that's, I mean, if that's what you want.
Well, Dave, we could start from the top here. Like, where should I begin scribing? Like,
Okay, Jimmy, I'm gonna try to go through this. So,
Point of order.
I'm not sure this is what Senator Warlock was trying to do, but what I was
Here,
trying
a
to do
point
was,
of order. Sorry, I had a point of order. Yeah, Michael?
Per the standing rules, all motions are supposed to be put into the chat. You are putting our scribe Jimmy through, I'm going to call it hell. So I'm asking for a point of order that we do actually need something in writing in the chat for this to be able to move forward, because this is completely unfair to our scribe at this point. So thank you.
Thank you so much,
So
Michael.
what I can recommend, we're supposed to be done at 9:30, and it seems like folks want to spend time on this. So can what would be the best way for you folks to work on this?
Take a 10-minute recess and we come back. Let everybody go to the bathroom.
We could
I
take a
can do
10
it in about, I can do it with Dave and anybody else who's interested, Alan, just let's work through this and give us 5 minutes or something via chat. Because I don't
Okay.
think I want to come back to this, but I think it's important. It has
Okay.
two issues here. One is giving everybody notice in the best way possible, but also within a budget that we have. So
Yeah, so I think so long as we stick with the rationale there, will be germane to the original intent. So let's give us until 9 o'clock. Everyone can come back at 9, and you can workshop this.
okay.
And then when we come back at 9, what we'll be voting on is amendment to the original motion. And then if we're okay with that, then we'll be voting on the original as amended. Okay?
Okay.
So let's come back at 9.
Okay. So
Or get rid of
Okay.
Yeah, provided that in the county of Hawaii.
just get rid of the word that and make it a capital. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. We can go back later and make the red lines make sense, but this is what we're looking at now.
Yeah.
I think it's great that Senator Moriwaki helped us do this, because Sine Die was a couple days ago, and you still have energy, Senator. Impressive. So are we okay with this as the new amended
Seems to-
motion? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesse.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, this is our last one, so we could spend some time, and I think it's important that we get this right. So let's let me see. Does anyone have comments? I'll take 2 comments. 1 for, 1 against.
Looks
Bart?
like Bart.
Yeah, I'm actually not commenting for or against. I like what they've come up with, and I like the process they used. I just want to insert into the record the caveat that in presidential years, the DNC will have a lot more to say as to what constitutes adequate public notice in a presidential year. So if those of you who are leaders in the party on rules, keep that in your thinking cap, that this does not mean that we can necessarily follow this in a presidential year. We may have to be more aggressive with our public notice. But
I think
we
that's
can save money in non-presidential years if we pass this amendment. So I do support it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And with a law like this, or it's the minimum, you can always do more. So if DNC requires more, we'll definitely do that. Kate?
I think the point of this amendment is to try to, and what we should be aiming for is the most notification to the most members as possible. And I think, again, this discussion should be in the interim, and we should come back with a lot of these questions that Bart raises and the other people raise answered. So I'm still voting no.
Thank you, Kate. So let's take action. If I see 5 hands, we'll go to roll call. If I see less than 5 hands, it'll pass, and we go to the original motion and vote on that. I see 2 hands, 3 hands, going once, going twice. Okay, the amended motion passes. So we're now back at 34. And 34 is as amended here. So I think we've had a lot of discussion. I don't think we need any more. So let's take action. If I see 5 hands, we'll go to roll call. If I see less than 5 hands, it passes. Just to be sure, you mean it. I see Kate's hand and Richard Oshiro. And I see others adding. Larry, your hand was up already, right? But you meant that?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to vote.
So I see 4 going once, going twice, passes. So proposal 34 as amended passes.
Thank you, Jess.
And I think that's it.
That is it, Chair. Just a reminder that the report will be up sometime around May 10th. We thank you all on behalf of the convention committee for all your hard work on these things. Remember to be nice to Jimmy when you see him at state convention, especially those of you who didn't use the chat feature, and you know who you are. As well as we talked about fundraising a lot with everything that's been going on here, there is still a meet and mingle, which is on Friday night. It's from 6 to 8. Our keynote speaker, with Governor Governor of Washington
Inslee.
Inslee. I've been up since 6 a.m. staring at my computer. Sorry. So Jay Inslee's, it's $125, comes with a drink and poo-poos and great entertainment, and then the fireworks show afterwards there at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. If you have not been to the website, the DPH convention website, since you all apparently love websites, make sure you go check that out. We have all a updated schedule there. There will be more details be putting into the schedule as they become available. Again, reminder, if you are a district chair or no district chair, their appointments are due ASAP, because their appointed delegates have until 5 p.m. tomorrow to register and pay. Elected delegates, appointed delegates, automatic delegates is 5 p.m. tomorrow to register and pay. If you need a waiver, we are only doing waivers for online delegates at this point. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. is also the deadline for ceremonial resolutions. And what else do I have? Be on the lookout for training next week when it comes to how using the Jumbo platform. And there is a deadline for the guests to register and pay. It's coming up here shortly. I just got to double check with my with our venue, because once we reach capacity, that's it. Guests are on. If you run out of space at the, we set a number at the Hilton, and if we hit that number, we can't take any more in-person people either way. But the priority goes to our delegates. What else? I think that's it.
So before you all jump off, before I pass the gavel, because Danielle just jumped in and she had a very good reason for just coming in now. I'm glad you're okay, Danielle. I'll give you the gavel, Danielle, if you have anything to say. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
See, I'm calling in from my phone, guys. I just got home. Sorry about the delay tonight. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Michael. Well, yeah, I'm sorry. I got in a car accident. I'm okay. So sorry if I just got, you guys can tell. but yeah, my car's not okay, but I'm all right. So yeah, I had to deal with insurance and HPD and all that. So my apologies, folks. Somebody sideswiped me, so it was a whole fun thing on the H1. So sorry, folks, but I'm glad tonight went well, and go Rules Committee.
We did it for you, Danielle.
We may need to do a ceremonial resolution for Danielle's car.
Seconded.
Bye, everybody.
No.
Wait.
Oh,
I want.
what about?
I wanted to thank you, Jesse, for running a good meeting. And also I want to express my goodwill basically towards those who contributed towards the atmosphere we had. I think we had a very cordial and well-structured, reasonable discussion over the various issues without having any tensions explode or anything. I have a tendency to get hot-headed sometimes, and I'm glad you guys kept me from doing that. And Jimmy, thank you very much for your work and your patience.
Thank you.
And Michael Galoid Sr. has never looked as handsome as he does right now.
Jesse,
Yeah. Thank you.
Jesse,
Yes, Kate?
can you, I think a few people want to say a few things, and I'd like to say thank you to you and Danielle, to Michael and Jimmy, and to everyone who participated in the Rules Committee. It's been a great discussion.
It's definitely a team effort. I mean, I wouldn't be here with an agenda if Daniel didn't help out with that part. And, this thing's going on in the background. Without Michael, none of this would be working. So thank you, everybody.
You've got other people, Jesse, other people have their hands up.
Oh, yeah, they can speak. Yeah. Sorry, we've adjourned. Right now, this is extra.
Is there,
Yes. Oh, go ahead,
Chair?
Michael.